Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a sit down video. We're going to talk about kids, independent kids, helping kids, parenting, all those kind of fun stuff. When I was pregnant, I did a lot of research, watched a lot of YouTube videos, read some books about parenting, how to raise like an independent child, because I knew exactly what style of parenting I wanted to follow when I had my baby. And these are the things that I have been doing at home ever since I had Abbas, mostly after he turned 1, and it's been going great. And I'm gonna also insert some clips here and there to show you exactly what I'm talking about along the way. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so I have a list of stuff that I want to talk about today, and from that list, this first one tops all of it. So the first thing that I want to talk about is letting the kids do some small tasks or chores at your home that are age appropriate. So what do I mean by small tasks or chores that are age appropriate? So my son is basically 20 months old and there's barely anything he can do around the house, but there's still a couple of things that he's always willing to help and I let him do it. For example, like putting toys away, putting shoes away, helping me load or unload the laundry, stuff like that. If you let your kids do small tasks like these here and there, it's going to teach them independence, it's going to prepare them for the future, and they're going to grow into becoming a helping child, which every parent loves. So to give you another example, every time my husband or I come home from work, we have a lunch bag and a travel mug, and one thing my child loves to do is first he just runs towards the door to greet us, and he takes those lunch bag and the mug and he takes it to the person, whoever is in the kitchen. So if it's my husband, then he takes it from my husband's hand to my hand if I'm working in the kitchen, or vice versa. And it's so interesting, like once he brings those things to me in the kitchen, he sometimes he claps like, okay, he did a great job, or sometimes he gets so happy and then he goes back and he gives his dad a hug. If you do simple tasks like this, it makes them so happy, not just like it's teaching them how to be capable and independent, it just gives them that satisfaction of accomplishing something and just making them really happy. And the other thing that my son loves to do is feeding the dog, especially the treat in the morning. So every time Johnny, my dog, who's actually sleeping right there, that's why I looked over there, so every time he comes inside after peeing or pooping in the morning from our backyard, like he loves to go to the pantry. He knows exactly what treat to give Johnny, and then he can't open the bag yet, so he asks me to open it for him, and after opening he takes one treat and give it to Johnny. If I don't pay attention, of course he's going to take a bite out of it, so I have to be careful because he loves dog treats for some reason if I don't pay attention. But stuff like that, like, again, loading or unloading the laundry, putting toys away, putting shoes away. These are the small tasks that I have taught Abbas along the way ever since he turned 15 months, I want to say, and it's been going great, and that's one thing that I highly recommend every parent to do at home. So the second thing that I want to talk about that is kind of like in line with what I just talked about is letting the kids do whatever they want to do or they think they can do. This builds so much self-confidence. It's just insane. Whenever I was pregnant and I was reading all these books and articles, there was one thing that I read, and it kind of stayed with me ever since I read that. And that article said that no child is born with self-doubt. And I thought about it when I read it, and I'm like, that is so true, because I have a lot of nephews and nieces, and I've seen them, even though, I didn't have my own child, I've seen a child like a toddler behave. So, and I thought about it, like we as an adult, every time we're trying to do something new, every time we're trying to kind of, start on a new project at work, or if you're doing something that we're not used to, we're always like doubting ourselves, we have no confidence, we're scared. But you never see that kind of reaction in a child, especially a toddler. For them, they can basically do everything. And I thought about it, and then the article also mentioned, like, whenever a child has that mindset, it's like us parents who kind of brings them down, and the way we do it, like we don't even know we're doing it. So basically a child wants to do something and you say, no, you can't do it because you're not capable, or you're not old enough, or you're too young, or no, you can't do this. What it does is like it brings their confidence down. They think that they're just not good enough, they think they're not capable, and they kind of take that with them into their adulthood. And that's how we become adults with low self-esteem and low confidence. Obviously, if your child is asking you for a knife and cut a vegetable, you're not gonna give it to them because it is scary and they're gonna get seriously hurt. They can seriously injure themselves. The article did talk about how to handle those situations where you say them no, but then you give them like a valid reasons. Like you tell them, no, we're not gonna play with the knife because it can cut you, it can hurt you. So we're gonna do that later and put it aside and then distract their mind. But if they're asking to do something and all that can happen is create a mess, let them do it, because they're kids. They are meant to make a mess, and let them be children where they are children, because we as an adult, we don't have that privilege to be messy like that. If you want to do this, you're gonna need a lot of patience, especially if you're somebody who loves control and who likes cleaning and who loves things to be clean and who doesn't like mess. It's going to be a really, really difficult thing to do, but again, it's all worth it at the end. So a few examples that Abhas loves to help me with is helping with the breakfast. Like every morning he wakes up, he asks for anda, which means egg in our language. So that means he's asking for an egg and he wants to crack an egg. He's not there yet. He makes it very, very messy, shells everywhere, but again, I let him do it. I pick the shells out of it and then throw it away. I have no issue with that. But he loves cracking the eggs, he loves whisking the eggs, he loves whisking the pancake batter. Small tasks like that, but it brings so much joy to him. I just love it. Those things are just teaching them like independence, control, confidence, and I just love it because these are so small activities that you can do at home, but it's teaching so much to a child. And the other thing that he loves to do at home is helping me with the laundry. I kind of went over this when we talked about chores, but he loves to load and unload the dishwasher, load and unload the laundry and the dryer, and he knows how to turn them on. He just doesn't know, he's not tall enough to actually put the detergent, so he asks me to do that, and when I do it, and then he shut the door and turn the power on and then start the washer, and after he's done, he always claps. It's just so much priceless when you see that. And again, you are basically teaching them how to do laundry, which is a very, very important life skill to have. So yeah, stuff like this where it kind of makes them seem like they're playing, but at the same time you're teaching them, so it's a win-win for both of us. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is something that I knew I wanted to follow ever since I was pregnant, but then knowing my culture, my background, my family, and my nationality, like where I'm from, and the way we raise children, and how I was taught to raise the children, I knew that it would be very, very difficult to follow everything. But there were a couple of things that I knew that I would be following because I totally agreed with the way it was done according to that system, and I knew that it would be really helpful and beneficial for my child. So what I'm talking about is Montessori way of raising a child. So like I mentioned earlier, I don't follow it to the T, even though I really want to, but the two main things that I really follow is, one is his playroom setup and his toy rotation, and the other is kind of his toddler room / nursery. It's kind of like a mix right now. The first thing that I do is put his toys at his height so he can kind of grab whatever toys he wants to play with and whenever he wants to play with it. So basically what Montessori says is you should have all the toys at your child's height so they don't have to ask you for it, because that's just how you teach independence to a child. Because if you have a toy that's really high up on the shelf and they have to come ask you for it, it's the opposite of teaching them independence. I have those 8 cubes kind of the shelf system where every toy is 8 toys are available to him to play every week, and then he plays with them, and they say to rotate the toys every week, but then I kind of go every other week because the other reason is he has another play area downstairs in our family room, and I have more toys available for him over there, again at his height. So I kind of go every other week of toy rotation upstairs at his play area and downstairs. If you want me to make another video on toy rotation, how I do it, how I set it up, like a playroom tour, please let me know in the comment section below and I'll make that video for you guys. And the other thing is their room, kind of, especially when they get into that toddler stage, make their room set up in a way where their clothes are kind of accessible to them, in their pantry, like the snacks kind of at their height, their cups and plates available to them at their height. So basically some of his clothes are kind of at his height. I don't know, since he's a boy, he doesn't really care like what I dress him with every day. Because I've seen like with girls, they do care a lot more than boys. So he's not at that age right now where he wants to pick what he wants to wear. Montessori says that you're supposed to pick 2 outfits for them, and you're supposed to let them pick which one they want to wear, so that they're kind of in control of what they're wearing. But we're kind of tricking them into thinking that they're controlling, because you're basically picking the 2 outfits for them. But again, since my son is not at that age where he cares, I haven't followed that yet. Like again, snacks, like if they're hungry, they just, they're supposed to have access to the plates and the cups and stuff, so they just grab it and then they let you know that they're hungry or they're wanting to eat something. So again, like stuff like this are so simple, but they're teaching the child to be more independent and more like better control of themselves. The child is telling you, this is what I want to eat, this is when I want to eat, this is what I want to wear, this is what I want to play with, and this is how long I want to play with. So that is all teaching a child independence and control. So the next thing that I want to talk about is, it's one of my favorite, because if you know me, if you're my friend, if you're my family member, you know that I talk about this all the time, and that is routine and schedule. I personally myself love routine and schedule. I cannot function without a schedule. I'm a mess without a schedule. Even at work, I love, when I know what I'm doing next, and when I know that, it makes me more organized when I have like a routine and schedule in place. And again, like whenever I was pregnant and I was reading all about parenting and raising a newborn or raising a toddler, I knew that this is something that I would be following into my lifestyle with a child. And I cannot stress enough how much I'm in love with it, and I highly recommend every parent to do this. Have a schedule, because it makes life so much easier with a child. You know exactly what you're doing next. You know exactly when to feed them, you know exactly when they get hungry, you know exactly when they're sleepy. So you're not kind of guessing, oh, is my child hungry yet, because I don't know what time he ate. I don't know what time he last took a nap. So just create a schedule. It's so much easier for both you and your child. Like being a parent is so hard enough. Just having that schedule in place makes it so easier for both you and your family. And in my opinion, kids love schedule too, because I kind of think that it gives them that sense of control. Even though you are kind of like in control of their schedule, it's another one of those kind of like a outfit thing where you are kind of controlling the schedule, but you're kind of tricking them into thinking that they're in control of their schedule, because you've already set it up for them and they're kind of used to it, that routine, and they kind of follow that. But then it kind of makes them feel like you are working around their schedule, but it's the other way around, if that makes sense. So when Abbas turned 8 weeks, that's when I started the schedule for him, because that's when he started sleeping through the night, so it makes it a little bit easier. And if you're a mom, like just look at your baby's pattern to see what time he's actually waking up, what time he's actually trying to go to sleep, how long of a gap he has before he takes another feed, how long he takes a nap, and how many naps. So if you look at it, you're gonna know that your baby is actually telling you that there is a schedule he's following already, and you're just going to try to change it to make it a little bit more manageable for you. If you want me to make a video on how to put a baby in a schedule, or anything in the lines of that, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll try to make a video for you guys. So right now, Abbas is already on a schedule. He always wakes up between 6:30 and 7. He always goes to bed between 8 and 8:30. He has a very fixed time between feeds, and he eats exactly around the same time. If I don't follow those schedules, he gets very cranky. He lets me know. And that's what I mean when I say that you set up that schedule that works for you, but then once the babies are in that schedule, they're gonna feel like you are working towards their schedule. It makes your life so much more manageable and so much easier, because again, as parents, we're already dealing with so much, and anything we can do to make it a little bit easier for us is just good. Okay, so we're on the last topic, and this is one of my favorite topic because this is one of the things that I love about being a mom. And that is independent play, sensory play, problem-solving activities to keep their tiny brains going all the time. I am very particular about Abbas's toys and the activities that he does, TV time. I knew I would be like this ever since I was pregnant. Again, this is something that I read, this is something that I researched, this is something that I strongly believe in. Independent play is just as important as that one-on-one play between you and your child. So independent play kind of develops imagination, creativeness, independence, focus in a child. It's so important for their brain, especially from that age of 0 to 2 years. It is really, really important. I love setting up, all these kind of activities for my child. And toys. If you go to a toy store right now, nowadays you see a lot of like colorful toys that kind of beeps and make sounds, and kids are really, really attracted to them, but then they kind of forget that they're kind of overstimulating sometimes. And again, I'm really, really picky about like the toys that I buy for Abbas, and I'm always looking for a good toy out there. But if I do plan on making another video on the type of toys that I have bought for him and the ones that I love, and please look out for that video coming soon. The type of toys you buy for your child, the type of sensory activities you set up for your child, the type of independent play activities you set up for your child, it's really, really help them become more independent, help them more focused, and develop their imagination and all that. Also problem solving skills, puzzles. I love a good puzzle. I love seeing Abbas solve a puzzle. As a mom, I get really, really tempted to solve it for him, but I try really hard not to, because that's the whole purpose of a puzzle. But it's really interesting to see his brain going whenever he's trying to solve a puzzle, and it's just so much fun to see a toddler work on a puzzle. Yeah, sensory bottles, sensory bags, all these activities that they can do on their own, and it will give you some time to do some chores around the house. So what I do with Abbas is like every time I work in the kitchen, let's say I'm doing the dishes or putting the dishes away or cooking, I always set up like an independent play activity or a sensory activity on the dining table. And for example, pouring activity or rice activity or some kind of puzzle solving activity where I know that he can do on his own. So basically independent play, but at the same time he's at a distance where I can pay attention to him and also get my things done. Abbas loves playing with water. Pouring activity is one of his favorite things to do. What I do is like I put him on the dining table, I put a piece of cloth, and then I put 2 glasses of water and I let him pour water, and he can go at it for like 30 minutes straight. Like, it's so satisfying to watch him do that pouring activity. And as soon as he's done, he lets me know by splashing that water everywhere, and it gets everywhere. And sometimes it does make me a little bit kind of frustrated, but again, the cleanup is like 2 minutes. So the amount of happiness, the satisfaction after he's done, the joy that activity gives him is just totally worth it. And that 2 minutes of cleaning is nothing in front of that. They learn so much from it, and it's just really, really good for them and their brain. So there you go, guys. These were all the things that I wanted to talk about. These are the things that I have been doing with Abbas since he turned 1. And I strongly believe that if you follow these things, it's going to help them become more independent. And again, those helping child who loves to help their parents around whenever they grow up a little bit, because everybody loves those children, right? So let me know if any of these things you already do at home, and if it works and if it doesn't. And let me know if there's any other things that you do at home that I don't know of or I don't do, and I would love to hear about those. Please put that in the comment section below. If you guys have any independent play activities that you do with your toddlers, please let me know in the comment section below, because I would love to hear them. I'm always in look for activity on Pinterest. I'm always on Pinterest trying to like pin any kind of activity that my toddler might enjoy. Thank you for spending time with me today, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.